Okay, welcome everybody. This is episode 8, the Kayfart podcast. I got my boy, very close personal friend of mine. Someone who's helped me out a lot in the streaming game. SmasherMagazine. What's up, my friend? How you doing?
Thanks for having me. Hi everyone. I'm not looking at the chat, so just essentially just.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah, no, I'm super excited for this. I was thinking about doing this episode, but I like the thing that really got me like I had a lot of questions was when you started doing like the guild house, like you did the guild house DJ sesh, and then you did like the Twitch public access thing, which is really sick. So I was like, okay, I gotta lock this in. But I'm gonna start it off the way I start off most of these podcasts. I actually want to ask, like, how did you start streaming? Like, what was the sort of story behind you becoming a streamer, if you remember?
Yeah. Well, actually, I made this account in like 2016, so in 2017. I tried streaming one time with this account name, like SmasherMagazine, and I was using some shitty ass laptop, and I tried doing it on Wi-Fi, and I think I just got into like Melee. I got into Melee or PM, and I had like Frog Venom over, like, oh, we should stream. This is cool, and that shit got like 1 FPS. So I was like, ah, shit, never mind. I just sucked ass. And I never did it ever again. And then around like 2020 or when COVID started, I got a job working from home. Well, I just moved out with me and Joe. And like I was working from home. Joe was working in school and shit. And I'd be bored. I'm like, okay, I don't really know what to do. So what I would do is like I would go on Anther's Ladder, play net play because I'm bored. And then I get like a stupid shitty Luigi combo. I would record it, post it on my Instagram because I have nothing to do. I post on my Instagram stories, and then someone told me they're like I would post it. I'm like proud, and someone like my homegirl was like, "Is this what you do all day?" I was like, "Fuck, man!"
Damn, I just coming at you like that.
I was like, "Ah, shit, yeah. I guess this is what I do all day." And I was like, "Huh, I should probably just stream or something." So I started streaming, like after like having free time and perfect timing, working from home, new place. I like
Yeah, so it was like around 2020, like start of pandemics when you started.
Probably like a year before pandemic.
Okay. Yeah, that's great, dude. I always forget you started off with Luigi. That's crazy.
Well, I was like a fox.
Yeah,
I goofed around with Luigi. Insane.
I like to ask people this because I get so many different answers. Like, I feel like we all, obviously we have a big community of like streamer homies. Like we all kind of have different vibes, different like goals. But I'm actually curious, like, have you ever thought about any goals you have for your stream, or you're just kind of like just going with it?
Yeah, I mean, I bounce around with different kinds of goals. Like I streamed full time for a year. I was like, I passed that goal, which was kind of shit. Like, anyone listening, that shit kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I went from having a career to like eating beans every day. It was terrible. But anyways, goals currently is I would like to do more events. So like, I guess like I want to just pull off these projects that I want to do. I used to have like number goals, like a partner type shit.
Yeah.
But I think that'll come naturally. I'm not trying to force anything. Like not bend any of my like not morals, but like bend any of my ideas and how I want to get there and stuff.
That makes sense. I think the number goals are kind of tough too because Twitch is so like it's hard to like keep things consistent unless you're like at the top of a lot of the time. So it's just like things just fluctuate. So like if you focus on numbers, like I've talked about this with a bunch of the other streamers I've had on here, but just like if you focus on numbers, that shit just becomes like a job and becomes way less fun.
Yeah. No, once it becomes a job, it's not really fun. I definitely understand that feeling. Like when I was streaming without a job, essentially I was like, oh fuck, I had to play Melee because I like to think that's what I thought, but in reality I was kind of just doing whatever the fuck. But it's like it is tough. Like looking at numbers, like oh fuck, what am I doing wrong?
No, I definitely feel that. And I think honestly, because we talked about this a lot, like when we were like hanging out at your house, just the fear of like switching things up sometimes, and you lose people, but you know, I mean, I think we've both been pretty lucky to just have like a community of homies around that just, because I was about to say you're playing more Stardew now, like you're doing all this all this dope shit, like it's definitely I'm really excited for the events that you have put on, because I know you're working on some stuff, so that's gonna be dope. But I actually want to hop into some of the music talk a little bit, because I'm actually really curious. Like I haven't a lot of these questions, like I actually don't know the answer to, so I'm gonna be learning stuff alongside the people here. So actually, I'm kind of curious, like what were some of the earliest influences on your music taste? Like you could go artist, and then also like how did you get access to hearing, like listening to the music, you know what I mean?
So I guess I could start from the very beginning. I guess my brother and also my sister have always been into this stuff, and I was lucky, like I guess, to be like around them and be in LA, which is like there's a crazy ass movement, you know. So my brother and sister were really into like hip hop. If you don't know, they both DJ. They're both DJs, and they're like they have their own like story too. Like my brother's still DJing, collecting records, and runs a label and shit. And my sister's a really fucking talented DJ. She's the one who got us all into it.
Wow.
But yeah, no. My brother and I were really he was really into like hip hop, like especially on like the more well, all of it, but like more on the instrumental side. So he loved DJ Shadow, Cut Chemist, RJD2 were like really core names for us. And then of course like Madlib and MF Doom and any other producer you could come up with. I could like start listing, but like I guess this is like before YouTube, this a little before YouTube, or like before like Spotify. I guess a little bit before Blogspot type stuff. So like a lot of hip hop, especially if anyone's listening, I don't know who's watching or chatting, but it's like especially before, even I guess before internet type stuff, a lot of hip hop was like word of mouth. So it's like, oh shit, have you heard fucking this? Like, you know, because you know Cut Chemist, did you know about the Litmus Test album?
Yeah.
But did you notice like Madlib worked on that Monkey's Pick album with him? And because you know Madlib, did you check out Loot Pack? And then if you knew Loot Pack, it starts dripping down. Like, and they always test you. People are like, oh shit, oh you know that shit? Then name like every fucking member of of this thing.
It's like the memes. It was like the fucking meme.
Yeah, it really is. It really was like that. So like, it is some backpacker shit is what they call it nowadays. But like back then, I was like, oh fuck, yeah. I want to know my stuff, and I want to be able to back myself out, like back myself.
Like back.
If someone pressed me, I'd be able to like tell you about it. Like I'm not some poser. Like who cares about that? But yeah, culturally, that's what it was. And my brother and I were like that. We were always digging for music and kind of testing each other. Like, oh, you know what the fuck? You know that shit? Then what about this and this and that?
That's so interesting, actually, too, because you're kind of talking about like this is something I actually never even thought about, because I didn't really have, like, I think I've talked to you about this too. Like I didn't really have people who were into hip hop like I was growing up, so I was always kind of like isolated in that sense. But you're kind of talking about how like before the internet like blew up and all this shit, like, you know, you were doing the word of like sharing music with the homies. Like actually sounds like such a dope ass era. Like that sounds like some grassroots melee shit. Like
no, it really is. Because I was a kid, I was probably like I have like proof. Like I have like receipts type shit. Like if you go to my old M.U.G.E.N videos, I'm like putting crazy ass drum breaks and shit at like 10 years old, and like putting like the Cut Chemist stuff I was talking about.
That's that's actually so sick too, because like it's like a family thing. Was this like is your dad, because is your dad like into hip hop too, or is that just something that just started with you, like you guys, the siblings, just you guys all just
you know, it was mainly my brother and sister. My dad's really into like 80s like new wave and stuff, love songs and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Which I like too. I like that shit too.
That's so.
I play on stream sometimes.
I remember
farming and shit. Yeah. No, but it's them. And then I asked them about where they got stuff from. They would go to like shows and stuff. Skate tapes is what like really got them into like um like a lot of hip hop. Like it's back then. It was like I don't know. It was like a curse. Like you would see something crazy. It would have a really dope track in it, and you'd be like, "All right, I have to somehow find this."
Yeah.
Because you don't have Shazam.
Yeah.
Or like you could ask. You'd be like, "Oh, I don't know, man."
Yeah.
So like, oh fuck, these are these unlocked or like locked things that to like figure out. And eventually, as you grew your like music knowledge and stuff, you'd find out like, oh, that's a sample of that. That's that track. Oh, they used this in that tape. This, that, and this, that.
That actually segues perfectly into my next question, which was kind of like I kind of wanted to ask like compare the two, like what was your digging process like in the earlier kind of days, and then like kind of compare it to now, like you still dig for music. What's the process look like back then versus now?
Back then, how I would do it, and I think it's still actually one of the best ways to do it. I like to preach not letting like an algorithm lead you into like a playlist, I guess. If you let an algorithm lead you, you would probably get like Walkin' by Denzel Curry, and that would lead you to like Earl Sweatshirt's like Riot.
Yeah.
And then it'd bring you to Mike, and then it'd bring you to like Potato Salad with Tyler the Creator.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, those tracks are dope. I love those tracks, you know? Like, but like you'll realize like everyone's playlist is the same shit, and that's kind of it. The way I used to dig was like I would start with one artist, like the initial lead. Like, okay, I liked the production of this album. Who produced it? Okay. I guess we'll start with like MF Doom. Like you start with MF Doom and you love all his stuff, you go through it, and then you go to his Victor Vaughn album and you find out who produced that. Oh, who was on the producers list there. I'm like, oh shit, RJ did that. You go in there, you see who he worked with, and then you start digging down. And like you keep passing through and like, oh, what label was that on? And then you go through there and you start moving around in that fashion. And that's how I used to dig. I feel like I've gotten lazier.
Yeah.
Over time. But that's mainly for hip hop, and then for like digging for like samples and stuff, I have like a whole nother system.
For you saying you have a whole nother system for digging for samples?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, do you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the homies have heard. I showed it to a few of them. Like, I showed it to like David. I showed it to like Mukavo. I forgot who else I showed it to. I showed it like a lot of people in person wherever I can. So my brother and I, we both dig pretty hard. Nowadays, he's really in the forefront of like digging through auctions and getting big ass fucking like $1,000 worth of like records from like a from a bidding, and then get that, and or buying private collections in one swoop, and he'll dig through it and sell the stuff he doesn't want and keep the rare shit and do that. But so I know how to do that stuff, but I'm not actually doing too much analog stuff. So like I have a system where like I guess I have a pool of resources of where the things are being uploaded or archived is a better word.
Yeah.
And then I could run some scripts that automatically grab it for me, and then it'll label by year, by genre, and then I could kind of like unbiasedly like dig through the records as if it was something I picked up from like Goodwill or something. I used to do that all the time. Like before I got into streaming, before I got into Melee, before I got into like dating.
Yeah.
Like before I had a social life or anything, any of that shit.
Yeah.
That was my whole life. I was like digging for hip hop, digging for records and shit. And I did it so much until I got burnt out, essentially.
Wow. How long did the burnout last, do you feel? Or do you feel like you're still kind of burnt out on digging for?
The burnout lasted a couple of years. But then like other things kind of filled that time. I still have like this skill set for it, but I just don't tap into it as much as I
you don't utilize it as much.
Like I've been slowly gaining equipment again to like kind of inspire me to like do stuff, but
So you were saying before how you kind of you'd pick an artist, and then you'd kind of like dig into what they were doing, you see who's produced on them. Do you feel like the digging process has changed for you nowadays? Like it's a little different? Do you utilize some of the more modern tools, or do you still like to keep it OG
Yeah.
when you're looking for new stuff?
I always talk about like not trying to like let the robot do it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately nowadays I kind of do let it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'll have a big ass playlist. I'll try to remember everything I loved and set it up. And sometimes I do fill in the gap with whatever is like pops up on like a recommended through like Spotify. I talk big, but in reality of it, it's like listen to what you enjoy and enjoy what you listen type shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, you found it, that's cool.
Yeah.
Whether you found it through like I don't know, you met the dude that
Yeah.
actually who made it and he put you on.
Yeah.
Or you found it in like in a FIFA soundtrack. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
in reality of it, like you shouldn't be shitting on anyone for how they found it.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how big your like ego is or like some gatekeepy shit.
Yeah. That definitely makes sense. Honestly, I feel like you have a pretty good balance of that though. Like because even when I first started like coming to your streams, like I remember you were talking about the whole like lo-fi thing where it's like, there's like a line that you have because it's like you're not shitting on people for listening to lo-fi, but you kind of feel like just from a production standpoint, like some of the stuff that is made is like not really.
Yeah, it's like some like Jekyll Hyde shit. It's like like half fucking every photo is like half demon and half Filipino or some shit. like or like some dumb shit like that. Where it's like a dog and the other side's like Filipino. It's like that's like a side thing. It's like some old portion of me is like like a hater or some shit. But then
I mean,
other side's like, oh, that's cool.
I don't even think I was just and honestly, those two are kind of separate. Like I was just thinking about the sort of balance. Like that was the first thing I thought of. But so you talked about the digging a little bit. Was this digging style like the way that you learned to do it? Was it kind of like from your brother? Your brother was kind of like putting you on, like this is how I do it, or you were just kind of like, okay, this is just the way that I kind of see. This is the way I like to do it.
Sort of. Like we both took bits and pieces of like he had like a system of how you would dig. Then I created like my own system, and then we would share. Yeah. And we still kind of do that to this day. Because now, like, you ever watch Full Metal Alchemist? Yeah. You know how like just spoiler shit. But like, I don't know. Like they do their own shit, and like, okay, we're gonna reconvene and like figure some shit out. Yeah. So I'd be like, all right, this is all the shit I found. And like here it is. I can send it over to you. And he's like, and then my brother's like, all right, here's the shit I found. Let me send you over like what I found through the records I've been digging through and stuff.
That's actually that's so sick. Like I honestly wish my brothers were like into hip hop like that too, because that just seems like such a good like bonding kind of thing. Like and it sounds like you and your brother are pretty
tight. He's like
tight.
sending me like psych rock and some trippy ass like jazz and stuff.
Yeah, that's actually so dope. Yeah. Okay, that was dope. Yeah, because I've always been curious. Like that was the kind of stuff I always wanted to ask, but I'm like, okay, I gotta save it. I gotta save it for the pod. So now we're getting into the down and dirty. So I'm actually curious now. Like, get into the scratching a little bit. Like, when did you first start scratching? Like, if you remember, it can be like approximate.
Probably like when I was like 13 or something.
Damn.
But I never had my own setup. So it was my sister who was a DJ. Like remember when Serato came out? And she had her own setup and she'd DJ for events and stuff. And when she was working, because she works as a respiratory therapist.
Wow.
I would like sneak into her fucking room and fuck with her shit.
Nice.
Like just fuck with her shit. And then she's like, "Did you touch my shit?" I was like, "No." But yeah, that's sort of I didn't get too much practice that way, but I remember always wanting to like try it and mess around with it that way.
So was your curiosity of it like from seeing your sister do these kinds of events, or was it just something that you just kind of knew about and you were like, okay, well my sister's got the shit, I gotta just get in there now?
It was more like that. It was more like because she was spinning different stuff than like I was really listening to, This is around like Justice, or like if Ed Banger Records, like Daft Punk sounding music.
Yeah.
Or like Calvin Harris, early Calvin Harris type stuff. And so she was spinning that kind of stuff, but she still had turntables. So I was like,
you're like, ooh, let me.
Shit.
That's dope. That's so tight. So, okay, I'm actually kind of curious too, because I like to ask like all my, musically talented friends, like, what was sort of the, I guess, family reaction? Because I sort of talked to Sallow, I talked to Slap, and then like, Slap's family was like not with the music shit at all. Like they wanted him to go do something else, be a lawyer, be a doctor. And then Sallows said his parents kind of were pushing him into not pushing him, but like, kind of had him play instruments. Like were your parents like, because obviously all your siblings were musically inclined, like doing something in music. Like how did your parents feel about that? Were they like cool with it, or were they like, nah, go fucking do some other shit?
I feel like it's like neutral. Like there's no opinion at all. I don't think they actually care at all. Like or even really. Like they weren't like pushing for it, but they weren't pulling from it either. It was like, because like every single one of us, we have our careers outside of this stuff. You know?
Totally.
So there was like pushing that like career stuff when I was younger, but like, I guess my mom and them really don't.
They didn't really.
They don't push away from like any of my hobbies, like my stream stuff. If anything, they embrace it nowadays.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey mom, look at this. I did this. I DJ'd this. She's like, oh cool, that's nice.
That's so dope.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, mom.
What were some of your earliest influences on scratching? Because we kind of talked about the music side of it a little bit, like some of the influences you had, but like when it came to scratching and sort of figuring out your style and like what you kind of wanted to start scratching, like what were some of those influences?
Yeah, definitely. Because honestly, my scratching is pretty basic. It's not like really advanced at all. But my favorite thing about like the scratching portion of it is like it being used in production. So like there's a lot of scratching that's really technical, and I get a headache. I'm like, oh, I should learn that stuff. It's like being able to multi-shine a ton. But like, but I always loved like a great instrumental with scratching on it. So examples of that would be like RJD2's To All of You at the very end is a scratch.
Oh yeah.
Or like J Zone's scratches and stuff.
Yeah.
People know Gangstar's scratches, like very minimal. Like it's like
but
chirp. It
adds stuff for sure. Yeah.
But like comparatively to like DMC, which is like essentially the Evo or Genesis of like scratching. It was like really technical. It's like yeah. So like I guess inspirations, like I love like Executioner's scratching style where it's like melodic.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, just stylistically like repeated and stuff. Versus like another artist group called like Invisible Scratch Pickles, which was really technical. But like audibly, it's like. Another guy I like a lot was like Kid Koala, who was really technical, but in a different way. Like he would play it as an instrument. He like legitimately was like an instrument.
That's like, pretty insane. Yeah. I'm actually wondering now. This question just kind of popped out of my head. But like, when was the time where you kind of started getting your own setup and started scratching stuff on your own? Because you said you would use your sister's stuff to kind of mess around with it when you were like 13. But when was it that you were like, okay, I'm gonna do this shit on my own? Like, and when were you able to?
Once I moved out, essentially. Well, that's a lie. That's actually a lie. When I lived with my parents, like maybe 2 years before I moved out, I got the most budget setup. Not too budget, but like experimental setup. So I got like Audio Technica turntable that isn't even meant to be like used to scratch.
Oh wow.
And I went to like Book Off and got like some shitty ass controller.
Nice.
And I was like makeshifting it to work, like some MacGyver stuff. I was like, okay, it works. And then I would mess around with that. But yeah, that's pretty much that's pretty much like doing it. And then once I moved out, I kind of like started spending my money like it was water. I was like, okay, I need this. I need that. Oh shit, I need this.
That's so funny. But I mean, honestly, that's how you know though. Like when you gotta MacGyver the shit at the beginning, like that's where the passion's at. You know, like a lot. I'm sure a lot of that was like really important to shaping like your sort of scratch style, and then like when you're able to actually get equipment, you're like, oh fuck yeah, like I'm ready. I've been using this goofy ass setup for however long now.
Yeah. I feel like I still have a lot to like learn or grow from, but having fun.
Yeah, I was about to. I
pretty
mean,
chill, like it's pretty dope. Just
I think we're all having fun seeing you. I know you did some DJ streams like at the beginning, like at the early days. Like I've seen some of those. Like and I know that you kind of got like I guess I don't know what the word, like burnt out on scratching, or like you weren't making scratching content for like a little while, right? Like there was a gap in there. I'm kind of curious, like was there something that happened, or were you just kind of I'm just focusing on other stuff? Like
no. I love that you brought that up. What was happening was like, also Joe's here. Hi Joe.
Hi Joe.
Want to say hi to Joe real quick?
Yeah.
I'm on the podcast, Joe.
Hey Joe.
I was first starting out as a streamer, or first starting out streaming. Also, first starting out putting my shit out, putting anything out, related to me in general, you know. So I wasn't really thick-skinned or even knowledgeable on any of this, or even ready for anything. So I would start streaming, and then, just chill beginning streams. And also, I would goof around because I just figured out like, oh shit, this would be cool to do, like the scratching shit for Melee. And then I would get criticisms like, man, you remember Gloomshot, or do you know what Gloomshot is?
I think that sounds familiar. Gloomshot sounds.
There was like a channel where like it would auto pull clips. Like we have that nowadays. But they definitely had that when I was starting out. And then people were like, oh shit, that's so sick. And then some people were like, anyone tired of these scratching videos? I was like, fuck.
Damn.
Like I wasn't good at like separating like the praise I was getting and then also the fucking criticisms. But then eventually it started getting love. People liked it. But then when I was streaming, like I feel like some people were only coming in because of the scratching stuff. Like, hey, when's the next one dropping? When you gonna put that out? You know? And it kind of made me. I was like, I want to be known as a streamer. You know? Yeah. I don't want to just be known as the guy who rubs records and shit. You know? So I guess as I established my stream, like known as a streamer and stuff, I felt comfortable like leaning into the streaming stuff, leaning into like scratching stuff, because I was strong on my own merit on both. So like I have a whole community of people who are there because they like my streams, and I have a whole community of people who like me because like I DJ and do
and like you're able to separate that now, kind of thing. That's actually I didn't even know that. That's really dope. I didn't even know that. I think and you know, like it's cool to hear you talk about this stuff too, because I think a lot of people sort of look up to you as like you know, like as a streamer, like myself included, right? So I think it's dope to see that you kind of went through the same, because I think every like smallish or small streamer has that like identity crisis. So like I don't want to just be like, you know, with me, poor AJ over here, I'm talking his ear off every time I'm going to his house about I don't want to just be known as the Melee guy, you know? You know, like we all sort of had that like that like identity crisis as a streamer. So it's definitely I think it's super dope and inspirational to hear you like
I mean I relate. I feel like if you guys bring up stream problems, like I've been there or currently am there, or I understand it. Like that's another thing, you know? It's like I don't want to be just known for Melee or only be the Melee person. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it I know the feeling, so I bring it up. But it kind of hurts or sucks when like if you are in a place where like you stream Melee and popping, everyone's like, hey yo, she's playing Melee, oh tight as fuck.
Yes.
And then you play like, I don't know, whatever you want to play. Like don't play like, I don't know, some retro game or something. And it's like dead silent, no one wants to be there, like you know? Like so it's like it's nice just having people who want to kick it with you regardless what you're doing.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean it's nice to see, you know, like it helps other people, you know, seeing other people have been there. Like it's definitely a thing. So yeah, that and honestly, I think it's pretty amazing that you were able to sort of get comfortable enough to get to a place where you were, be able to separate both. And then I think that's a good point you make too, because like you started off sort of with the scratching stuff a little bit more. So
Yeah.
it's like, you're taking something really personal to you and then like putting it out on the internet. Whereas like a lot of us just start off like playing Melee or whatever the hell. So I think that's it definitely makes sense that you were feeling some type of way at the beginning, but I'm glad you're able to come around.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I know I mentioned stream goals a little bit earlier, but do you feel like you have sort of music goals that you want to hit? Either it can be like anything, like do you feel like you have any goals, or you're just kind of like, yeah, I'm just kind of going with it and seeing what happens?
I want to put out a tape. I've been wanting to put out a tape.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a couple of music goals. Have like a tape or something out, like physically out. Oh fuck, dude. I actually have to go. I have a meeting.
Oh shit.
Can I actually can I call it back?
Yeah,
Can I
yeah,
get
yeah.
a second?
Yeah.
My bad. I love you guys.
Yeah, take your time. Yeah. So, yeah, we talked about some of the music stuff a little bit. I'm actually kind of curious now. Like, we haven't talked about games that much. I kind of want to know, like, when you were younger, like, what are some of the most influential Smasher magazine games? Like, when you think about gaming and like what shaped your taste as a gamer, like, what are some of the games that come to mind?
Yeah, not easy. Banjo-Kazooie
Banjo
was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of my favorite games. Like, I remember playing that game and then like doing so much research on it. I was like, oh my god, when's the next thing gonna drop? When's this gonna drop?
Yeah.
All these secret things. What's gonna happen next? And it never happened, but it gave me hope as a kid. I was excited for it. But yeah, casually it was that. As a kid, I loved that game, and N64 was probably my favorite console. Really influential to me.
Yeah.
But I guess like actually like changing my life a little bit. Funny enough, probably be M.U.G.E.N.
Really?
M.U.G.E.N. actually I'm not sure if people know and like who are listening.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, I was probably like 10 years old. I had a popular M.U.G.E.N. channel on YouTube. When YouTube first dropped, like I had a channel and then I got a director account or some shit. So I was one of the first people to be able to like make a video past like 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was doing that. Did you ever play M.U.G.E.N.?
Yeah, and I mess with some M.U.G.E.N. stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely messed. I'm sure I had no idea you played M.U.G.E.N. I didn't.
Oh yeah.
I didn't
like
never know.
2005 and 2006.
Wow.
Around. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's so sick. Yeah, I didn't even know it was that like influential on you either. Like, what was it about it? Kind of that just.
Yeah, I could break it down.
Yeah,
like, I haven't thought about this in a long time, but I guess like when I break down my life, I guess. It's like a lot of things taught me. Like this, digging for records and digging for characters are pretty fucking similar. Like it's, especially back then, it was like you would just dig through these random ass sites, go to some website that's like that was made in like '98, and then you can't even speak the same language. You have to like figure a way to download it and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do that shit and like, and then also. That's when I first started doing like content creation stuff. So like I got Windows Movie Maker and then used not Hypercam but Snag it was the name of it.
Wow.
I would record videos and shit, put it on YouTube, put music towards it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I guess Grand Scheme probably be one of the most important games.
That's crazy. Like, man, I didn't even know you were making content back then either. Like,
I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I don't tell people the username for it because I don't know, not slightly cringe and also like
yeah.
Bro. Same username I used in other things too.
Dude, next time I come over, I need to see.
I'm down. You
don't have to air it to the world, but I need to see this, bro. That is actually crazy.
Of it.
Yeah. That would be so sick. Yeah. I'm mad down for that. That's amazing.
Like when I say popular, it had like I had a video get like 800K views or some shit and like
what?
This is 2006.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They were
800K in
shitty, but
2006.
they got a lot of a lot of them if I go to them, they have a shit ton of downvotes.
Wow. Oh, really?
Yeah, because I would clickbait. I was a kid. I was
Oh.
like, this is the rarest characters in fucking this and this and that. How to
Uh-huh.
get the rarest character?
Yeah.
Uh,
What? My man was
yeah.
a little content genius. He had the clickbait
I
down,
was
or he
clickbaiting
already
early.
knew.
Yeah, before BuzzFeed. Yeah.
Yeah, he knew the secrets. Holy,
Mhm.
that's crazy. Wow. That's actually
Mhm.
amazing. I had no idea. Wow, that's so interesting. Like, damn, that shit's like destiny almost, bro. You're just meant to be a content man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I never truly lost it.
hmm Yeah, man. Because 800, were you even able to like get monetized back then for that many fucking
No.
views? Yeah.
I wish I did.
I was about to
I
say.
think about that
like-
all the time. Well, I was like, damn, that'd be nice money.
Yeah, that shit's tough. I think so I'm actually kind of curious too, like as far as, since we're on the YouTube topic now, have you ever thought about like doing more ambitious stuff like on the YouTube channel? Like, like I guess ambitious isn't the right word, but just kind of like, do you have any ideas as far as YouTube content goes? Because
Yeah.
for example, like, you have like the Omori mashup with like the was it the Denzel Curry freestyle? I don't remember what.
Yeah.
So
things like that.
yeah, like that, like stuff like that, which is like really because I remember I watched that and I was like, oh, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen. Like that like, do you ever think about YouTube stuff like that, or have any ideas that you think about? Or?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been slacking. Like genuinely, I feel like I'm slacking on all the social media stuff. There's just if I could just pull off these projects, I think they would actually do really well. And I've talked about them on stream. I just anything that takes a little longer, there's gotta be some ADHD shit or some shit.
Yeah.
Like anything that's a little longer, I struggle. So if it's a project or a tournament or like a video, I struggle with it. And I tell myself like I have like, what do you call that? Like the prerequisites I need. Like back when I was full-time streaming, I was like, all right, I can't do this now because I need an editor. Because I need money. And then I have money. It's like, yeah. Well, let me get a couple more paychecks and save a little more money before I do this. I just need to commit. But I have some projects I want to do that I think will do well. I don't know if Riley's watching, but if Riley is watching this, Riley puts pressure on me. He's like, AJ, if you're gonna be DJing for Genesis, please tell me you're gonna make a video for this. I'm like, yeah, I got you, and I don't. I'm like, all right, it's cool. I'm done. I'll finish.
Funny.
Like, yeah, that's cool. But I would want to document stuff. I want to be able to make video essays. There's some topics I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I wish I could. I have some like DJ stuff I want to do that aren't just like these throwaways.
Yeah.
Honestly, all the scratching melee stuff I do are throwaways. Like I do it like in 10 minutes. I'm like,
yeah.
all right, cool, bye. I turn it off. And I start playing melee on stream.
Yeah. I think that's really dope though. But that's like a lot of like that's really relatable too, because like before I had shout outs to the homie Famine, obviously. Like before I had Famine, like the YouTube stuff just seemed so like daunting and just like fuck. Like there's so many different ways to go about it, because you don't want to just put out like shit just for the sake of putting it out. Like, you want it to be like actually somewhat quality. But I definitely think that that makes sense too. And like you said, with those longer projects, like I think every streamer has been there where you just have like this sick ass idea and then you're like, like this would be a lot of work, really now that I think about it. Because like even I remember the first time I did a sub tourney, I was like, oh, I just ended up not even running the whole thing. Like I just had my homies do it. I was honestly, just like,
I don't think that's uncommon. Especially the sub tourney.
Yeah,
we have some friends who felt the same way. Like they did that, and I was like, oh fuck, big burnout. Because it's like a lot of energy or a lot of resources to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it's tough.
It is definitely. I definitely think the biggest helpful part is like finding homies who have the skills that you kind of lack. It helps to really have someone to like come in and step in and help you out. Like I had my TO friends. I was like, all right, guys. I was like, hook it up, bro. I'm not running this shit. I'm gonna commentate it, and then other than that, I'm doing nothing for it. Like that definitely is one of my biggest saving graces.
Yeah, that's tight.
Yeah.
I mean, there's huge value in that. Like in my head, I'm like, I can do this shit all. I can do this all by myself. I got this. And you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I got the good ideas.
Yeah.
I think I need a team.
I was about to say
like,
the team changes the game.
Yeah, back my shit up together.
I mentioned this a little bit earlier in the podcast, but I'm kind of curious. Like, you know, we talked about how you did the Guildhouse DJ gig, and then you had like the Twitch public access thing. Actually, wait, how did before I get into this, like, how did the Twitch thing like come about? Like, are you allowed to talk about that? If not,
I think I can. Yeah, I can. It's funny. Like everything is like linked together. Like these small choices you make are like these small choices. Like it's like some butterfly effect shit.
Yeah. Like
I guess I could break it down, like the story of how that happened.
I love it. Yeah.
Okay, so I've been sad at the fact that I'm going to work. I'm gonna start working. So like my first day of work is coming up. I'm like, bye guys. I'm gonna stop streaming forever. I miss you guys. You gonna miss me, guys? You know. I'm like saying all this shit to all the homies. I'm like, I'm gonna quit streaming because I have to focus on work. My first day of work, I'm like being tested and shit. I'm like sitting in my cubicle, like bored as hell. And I go on Twitter, and some moment happens with HBox. Where he's like, Fox. I'm not sure if you saw that video.
I think I have, yeah.
And I was like, and then people kept tagging me. Someone tagged me, he's like, yo, SmasherMagazine would go hard on this. Smasher would do harder, just be so dope. And it got like 200 likes of people saying that, like upvoting it or liking it. And it broke my heart. I was like, fuck. If I haven't brought it up, I drive 2 hours one way to my job and 2 hours back. And then I work an 8-hour shift. So I was like, oh fuck, I have no time to even do anything. I can't stream anymore, you know?
Yeah.
So I get off I see that and I'm sad because like I can't do anything. I can't actually make this video because like I'm working, unfortunately. But I see that I'm like, okay, well here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get home, which is gonna be 8 o'clock, and I have to sleep at 9. So I can wake up at 5 and get to work the next day. I was like driving. I was like, Jill, set up the turntables. And when I get there, I'm gonna do a quick video. And Jill's like, okay, I'll help you. Jill sets up the turntables. I get home. I fucking do some quick ass, I don't know, shoddy ass video. Like,
yeah.
Whatever I think sounds good. Like real quick. I'm like brainstorming while I'm driving.
Yeah.
I make this video. It starts popping off. And then as that's popping off, Jake Lucky, that esports reporter, he reaches out to me. He's like, hey man, can I share this? Can we do this? I'm like, yeah, of course. He was like, he was interviewing me, asked me some questions. And then he was also like, what's your inspiration? What's this and this? Side note, would you ever consider scratching this kind of stuff? And I was like, I want to, but my main following is Smash, so it's like I don't really ever delve past Smash, essentially. But he was like, yo, it'd be cool if you did this moment. And he sent me the moment of like Summit 1G, like killing himself in the game. Yeah. During a tournament.
I mean, yeah, I've seen the scratch. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So that happened. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I sure I'd be sleeping because I have to wake up at 5. It's 11. I'm like, oh god. I'm already in bed as he messages me. I was like, okay. Yeah, he was like, oh yeah, you should do this one. I get out of bed. I do a quick ass video, 10 minutes.
Nice.
Send it back to him. I was like, yeah, here's a video. I made it real quick. He posted it, and then that starts moving. Twitch sees it. They found it because of that clip, that video.
Oh.
So both those things happened. The HBox one got Jake. Then Jake posted the Summit one. Twitch came into my Discord, joined. They DM'd me. I thought I was a robot. I was about to ban it. And then it turns out it was real, and he sent me like a whole list of things, and
Wow.
then yeah, that's kind of what happened.
And then you got the, and then they were like, all right, hook it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
What
it
a
was weird because like it could have easily not happened. I could have just like, oh man, I'm sorry, I can't do any video. I'm working, dog, and then just go to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. This guy says F the establishment, bro. He doesn't fucking. He's about to ban Twitch. Didn't give a shit.
Yeah, I got scared. I was like, who is this robot in my chat?
I like that. That's amazing. Yeah. So okay. Yeah. That's wow. Yeah. I didn't even know there was the whole ass story behind it, because I knew about the whole Jake Lucky thing, but I didn't know that that's how like Twitch was like, oh hey, let's get this guy. Okay, so that was kind of the lead up to my other question, which was like, what was sort of the experience of DJing, doing the Guild House gig and like the Twitch gig, which is like, it's like more live and in like a different setting, as opposed to like, making content just like whenever, making content for like whatever video you decide to do, making what you want, like just in your living room. Like, what was sort of the difference between those two?
Very different settings. Mm-hmm. All three of them are very different. Mm-hmm. The stuff I post on Twitter and YouTube and TikTok and stuff, those are just like fun tracks. Like I'll hear something like, oh, that's cool, and I'll associate it with the track, like, oh, this would sound great on this kind of instrumental. Mm-hmm. And I like mess around with it. It's fun. And usually it's curating for me the stuff I love, Mm-hmm. So that's one thing. That's my DJ stuff, like my scratching melee stuff. And then the Guild House one was crazy because like I'm not gonna be scratching. It's just like me playing tracks.
Yeah.
That I like, and DJing how I want to mix. Mm-hmm. Initially, they were asking me to DJ. They're asking me to DJ like top 40, like rap albums. Like, yeah, man, it'll sound good if you do some. Yeah, they'll love top 40 rap, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'm down. Mm-hmm. And then I proceeded not to.
Nice.
I was putting like,
yeah, you're just
like people under the stairs, beat nuts and shit. Mm-hmm. But I got lucky though. I would have done it regardless, but I got lucky because this is sad. I don't like, because I'm a DJ too. I don't want to rag on another DJ. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, people weren't really feeling like the vibe of the day before. Mm-hmm. So the DJ was playing like,
I saw tweets
hard, like my heart was fucking like pounding from how loud that like the bass was for the dubstep tracks. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, I kind of know the feel of like the general Smash player. Mm-hmm. They're either really into like Porter Robinson, like electronic music, or they're like into hip hop, or they're into like more like radio shit.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't really feel like there was any like a pocket for like a lot of the smashes for some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I got lucky, and I remember walking in drunk back into Genesis like at like midnight or 1 a.m. I'm like drunk and walking in because it's 24-hour venue, and I'm playing Melee. Yeah. And I remember like sitting down, and some random dudes come up to me, they're like, "Are you SmasherMagazine?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Please tell me you're DJing tomorrow." I was like, "Yeah, I am." He's like, oh, "Dude, thank God." Yeah. I want to hear some hip hop. I was like, "Okay, yeah. I mean, I got you guys. Yeah, I'm down." So yeah, like it's fun. It was dope. I got to play what I like, and I'm pretty confident people will like it. Yeah. I don't know if that's naive, but I feel like I like my stuff. Like I like my stuff, and I feel like other people will like that kind of stuff too. Totally. And I know how to mix it. Like I know how to beat match and get the crowd going for like, especially the guys who are breakdancing. It was.
I was about to say. I remember seeing people coming in the middle and like dancing.
Yeah, it was tight.
Yeah, that was that. So like leading up to that, because it sounds like that one was a little bit more of a like crazy experience. Like what were you kind of thinking? Were you like nervous? Were you just feeling confident, or were you just kind of like, I'm just gonna go do my shit? Like
yeah, that's pretty much how I feel like I get nervous for like a second. I'm like, oh, I'm nervous, and then carelessly, I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'll figure it out.
Uh-huh.
But I have bad study habits or like work habits. So like, I didn't prep my track list until like the day of.
Wow.
So like, I was like, oh shit, it's tonight. So Dova knows. I was literally in the hotel and just like grabbing all the tracks ready. I'm like, like okay, these would go well because I know these tracks like my back of my hand, so I don't need to like work on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, writing a script to grab it and download it and get it on my laptop. But there's some things that worried me because like I don't use a DJ controller. I use turntables.
Mm-hmm.
And I was borrowing my sister's stuff because it's if you ever carried one of those turntables, it's like fucking 50 pounds.
I was about to say heavy shit, yeah.
So I can't bring it. So I had to borrow my sister's like portable controller.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like a box controller, essentially. Yeah. So I had to grind that out for like maybe a couple hours and make sure I know how to use this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Wow.
And other than that, I was just like playing the tracks and hopefully there's no big fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
But even if there is, it's flexible.
Yeah. Would you say the overall experience was like a pretty positive one? Like you left it being like, oh man, that was amazing. Like
yeah, no, I was really happy with my mix, and I was happy with how people were like people who liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my head, I was like, I feel like it won't be like an extreme like it's not gonna be like extreme crowd pleaser. Like everyone's gonna want to get in.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the people who do like that kind of stuff will love it.
Will be into
like,
it. Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't believe he's playing this track.
Yeah, yeah.
No way he's doing that. And then like that kind of feel like, what is this? This is sick.
That's amazing. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I mean, my last kind of question for you is like has to do with this sort of thing we're talking about. Like, do you feel like doing live DJing and sort of doing like the whole live kind of thing is something you'd want to pursue more, or do you feel like you kind of fuck with just making the content that you want to make at home?
I'm
maybe
cool
a little bit of both. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah. Mm-hmm.
As the opportunities come, I'm flexible. I'm it's fun. They're cool as hell. They're really dope. Like they're really fun. Yeah. I like both aspects.
Yeah.
I feel like I was talking to my friend Grant from All Chat Esports, and he's like, "Man, you gotta get more aggressive. You gotta like reach out to these tourneys and say you should do this and that," which I still haven't done yet. But as they're like slowly like landing like in my realm, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say no. I'm always gonna be happy to do them. Another meeting I had today was I'm gonna DJ for Super Smash Con. Oh
wow.
Yeah. So I just talked with the TO. So we're gonna do that, and I keep slacking. I can't get my I'm supposed to be DJ for Battle of BC too.
Wow.
But I need to get my passport's kind of fucking up.
Yeah.
I need to get my passport fixed.
Wow. I was about to. Is this the first time you revealed that, or did you talk about that on stream already?
I talked about it on stream for a second. I was like, started. I was like, hey, by the way, I'm gonna go into a call SmashCon.
Wow.
I left for a little bit on stream.
Okay, yeah, that's sick, man. Look at that. That's I was about to say I didn't even know that. That's amazing. I'm proud of you, bro. For real, like that's amazing. That's gonna be super dope. It seems like you're already getting the experience for it, and like people really rocked with it at Guild House.
Yeah,
so.
I guess it kind of like it's cool because like each one, as long as I don't mess up bad, or like resumes.
I was about to say
I think I started with like the scratchy melee on my own doing that stuff, and then my baby DJ sets I would just fuck around on stream.
Yeah,
and then like a leap of faith happens. Like Deer from a Galint Gaming had me DJ for Amza and Plup. So I did that set, and then because of that, they vouched for me for Genesis, and then they vouched, and like
so on and so forth. It's only gonna, it's a domino effect, baby.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, yeah, man. That's all I got for you, bro. Thank you so much. Man. I have like a million other questions, but I'll save that for the return.
Yeah.
But no, man. Thank you so much for hopping on, bro. This was so fun. This is dope to just talk. Yeah,
you're a better podcaster than me. I honestly,
don't know about that one.
You're good. You got questions prepped and shit.
I don't know.
When I
about
tried doing a podcast, I was like, I'll figure it out. And I remember my first episode, I was like, oh fuck, I don't know what to say. I literally said that to my homie. I was like, don't.
Yeah.
Okay, let's cut this out. And then there's like a gap, like it cuts out to the next.
That's so funny. Yeah.
It's like they're like, okay, let's just start over.
Yeah, that's honestly, yeah, it's hard. It's hard sometimes to just make it like off the dome like that, you know. Like it's because honestly, a lot of the stuff I prep a lot of the time is just like not even